Okay guys, welcome to this new episode of mobirise Wikitude series. So today we're gonna be talking about mobirise columns. As you well know that if you're working with mobirise, trying to develop your website, most of the blogs I've seen blog developers are experiencing this problem. Normally, they find that they can't make columns in a page or a section. For example, having a column here and another column here. So for people who are blog developers, they kind of want to have two columns where they have the main column where the article is being described and explained, and then the other column where they have quick links and maybe other articles that are featuring, and also a lot of other things, probably like ads that can also be shown in this other column. So now playing around with or adding multiple columns in the same page in mobirise has been a problem for quite some time now, not until today, until I came up and tried to research about this and edit my code and came up with a new hybrid of a page that could solve this. So now we are able to add multiple columns in a mobirise page. So in starting with this is how I designed a blog page or an article on a blog page, where we have of course the a section where you have the pic, then the main description of the article, then the quick links or any other articles that are coming up. So when you try to bring it up on of course on a browser, this is how it looks essentially. It looks fine, and even if you try to put it in a mobile version or a mobile format, it will always fix itself on the way on a mobile screen, which is actually kind of remarkable. And today we're going to be seeing how these columns are being added. So bring out our section of the inspector. So we want to see exactly which column is added into which other column. So looking at our introduction, so this is how the site begins, and this is the code, pure HTML code. Where you hover is what is being shown here. So if I hover on the code here we shall be seeing which part of the website or that is being built by that code. For example, if I hover on this section, which is actually the main section, it shows that this is the main or section or the main body of the page, and inside this body we have the first, which is actually a row. So this body contains a row, and inside this row, which is actually the main container, the row is the main container in this case, and this row we have columns, two columns. This column here, the one that contains the picture, of course the article, the picture and the description of the article, and this main column and this side column that contains the quick links, for example for a blog and a blog section. So when you come over here, we say this is the main section of the page. That's why everything has been highlighted. So inside the main section we have two columns, and right now I'm on the first column class, which is column SM8. So that's the first column, and within the first column here we have our article being described, and within the description of the article we have two sections, the first section and the second section. So you can see that the first section here contains a picture, and the second section contains a text or description for the article. So if I hover on the first column, which is column SM8, it will contain two sections: the column of the picture, the section of the picture, and the section of the description of an article. And within this, you can really clearly see that if I try to drop down this column, you see it has two section groups, this one and then this one, which is a little bit below the one that has the description of an article. So those are the two sections found in the first column. So this is our first column, column SM8, and then we head over to the second column, which is column SM4. Here are the ones that are on the side. This is one column, and now I want you to pay attention to this. Column SM4 contains rows inside. So it contains rows. It's one column containing these rows here, and these rows here, from here up to here is one row, from here up to here, three rows. And if every row contains this is one row, and this row contains two other columns inside, of which the first column contains the image and the second column contains the text, okay, the content. So when you go back here, you can really see it that this is the column. This is a whole column. The second column, of course, the second big column of the container, and this column contains contains only rows, and within these rows we have each row contains two columns, the one for the picture and another one for the description. You can see that the one for the picture and the other one for the section. This is a small row inside the big column, and with this small row contains two columns, one for the picture and another one for the description. And that happens even on the ones that come next. A row containing two columns, one column for the picture, another column for the description. A row containing two columns, one column for the picture, another column for the description. So this is how we managed to come up with a blog page in mobirise that has different columns. You can even add the third column, but in this case I'm making a typical blog article page that normally has two columns: the first column for the article description and the second column for maybe quick links, any other small things that could come across. So now we're going to see how we came across and how we built this in Mobirise, and I will give you the source code for this such that you can duplicate it in all Mobirise sites and all other non-Mobirise Bootstrap websites, and you can do this on your own. So let's switch back to Mobirise and we see what really transpired. So as you can see in Mobirise, we're going to go ahead and of course visit our edit blog section or the code editor section. As I told you, if you don't have the code editor, I will be showing you how to download one in the coming video. Just subscribe to the channel. So you click on that icon here and it will take us to the section where we are going to be able to edit our blog into sections. So I'm going to be explaining this code, which one contains which column, which one contains which row, and which row is which and which column is which, such that you can really get to the point. So now let's start off. First of all, we have our first container. Let me first launch it again such that we can really work as we see exactly as we relate with the one on the web page, the browser. So let it first launch into the browser such that we can relate the code with what is being visually seen in the browser, and therefore we can have a very good understanding of the code breakdown. Okay, so finally it has launched into the browser just like we had. Okay, so we'll go back to our Mobirise, then back to the edit block or the code editor. Now first of all, we have the container, which is the white background, the white body, and inside this white body, the whole body. Now I'm talking about this whole body here is the first body, which has a background for a white background. And you come back here, then you have our first row, which is also having a white background. This is our first row, and everything is contained in this row. So all our columns, all the two columns are contained in this big row. I think you can see it, and now this is the big row here that contains the two columns. So going back to our columns, so the first column is this, which is column SM8, also having a background, of course, a white background, and that column contains only two sections. You can see this is section 1 that has the image, and this is section 2. Section 2 is here, starts from here, and that section contains the content. So this is the content, and that is it. This is the exit. This is how the section is ending, and this div closes our first column, which is column SM8. So our first column contains two sections: the first section that has the image and the second section that has the content. So this is it. This is our first column here. It contains the section, the first column that contains the section of the image and the section of the content. And then we go ahead and we see the second column here that contains some rows, and then inside the rows also have two other columns inside, one for the picture and one for the content. So we go ahead now, we are done with the first column. Let's go ahead and see the second column. So this is the second column here, column SM4. So this is the column SM4 here. And within this column, we have rows, of course. Now this is the first row here, row. As you can see, this is our first row from here up to here, and this first row contains two other columns inside, one for the image and the other one for the content. You can see inside this row we have another column that contains the image. So it has two columns, one that contains the image and another column that contains the content, of course. So this column here is for the content. You can see that. You can see the content. So this column is for the content, this column is for the image. So that's the first row. And then the second row also has the same thing, one column for the image and another one for the content. So the CSS is quite the same. They share the same CSS. Now, probably I'm going to be giving you this code. You will check in the description. I will put the link in the description for you to download this code. You can just download and use the code right away. So that's how we came up with this. After downloading the code, sync it in your project and see, or in a new page, and see how it's really working out. So these are two columns, two block columns that are really working perfect. You can go ahead and replace the images. It is okay. Choose the image from our, of course, computer library, not the online library. It's a little bit slow. Checking our pictures. Probably we can have from our download page. Okay, you can replace it with this image here. Okay, now you can see we can replace the images and also edit the content right away. You can see that. So everything is working perfect. So you can use this in your blog project and insert, of course, multiple columns and multiple rows. So thanks for watching. This was a short tutorial to show you how you can move around columns in mobirise, something that we never had before. So now it's very possible you can move around with the columns. If at all you have something to enhance this or an advanced version of this, you can comment in the you can really contact me in the comment section, and we talk and we see how we can improve on our mobirise skills and techniques of website development, and finally be able to develop very good and high class websites for our clients. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.